Okay, so I just got back from dinner with my mother and Mark. I really wanted to see my mom today. I always want to see Mark. They're my family, and I don't spend enough time with them. Especially now, my mom's just moved to her new place, and Mark is renovating it, and they're just busy, and I'm here, and I don't have transportation. And on top of that, even though I wanted to see my mom today and I wanted to see Mark today, I always feel shameful when I'm around them. I always feel like I'm ashamed of myself when I'm around them. I feel like that way wholeheartedly all the time, but especially when I'm with them. And it's not because they make me feel this way. They don't shame me. It's just because they act as like a truth be told mirror to me. So like when I look at them when I'm with them, it just bounces back on me the ways that I've let them down as a family member, as a child, as a partner, whatever. And it creates this gap, because who wants to feel that way? And I can't talk about it because I don't want to deal with those kind of fucking emotions, really. I want to have a pleasant time with them, and they don't really know how to help my crazy ass. They don't know how to help me. And so they are trying to understand. Two people that have a very normal mind are trying to understand somebody that has very sick person in regards to her mental health. And it's like it makes it so fucking uncomfortable. And so then what do I do, right? How do I get through it? Well, I go through the motions like anybody else. I go through the motions of having pleasant small talk and smiling a lot and being polite and thankful. And it feels so disingenuous for me to be acting that way because I really want to just scream out to them, say, oh my God, I'm really like fucking drowning in myself right now. I'm suffocating and I'm losing my grip on how to do better. And I can't tell them that because if I do, it's just gonna make things worse, and they're not gonna know how to help me, and I'm gonna make them feel helpless, and it's just not gonna be good. So I just go through the motions, and I come home, and then I just cry my ass off until I fall asleep. So I knew that I was going to have a depressive state. Like last night when I was sitting in the bathtub, I knew that I was crashing from a manic state. What's weird though is that when you have bipolar 2 disorder or bipolar disorder in general, I don't know about everybody else. I can only speak for myself. But there are things that I look for to measure whether or not what I'm going through is a manic or depressive state, because like everybody gets sad, right? Everybody gets angry, everybody gets happy, everybody has a range of emotions. But with bipolar disorder, it's like that plus times 100. It's like we feel everything so much more intensely and so much quicker than everybody else. Our switch it's just so like it's so easily triggered, that switch from where I'm like happy and everything's fine to like the point where I just want to just fucking crawl under a rock and just disappear. And that is what makes it really difficult to deal with sometimes. Despite knowing that I was going to go through a depressive state today, despite my many efforts to combat it. And the way that I did that was this morning, I got up, I, cleaned my room really well, I cleaned the kitchen, I got showered, dressed, I went down to the beach because I love the beach. But when I got there, I was so fucking dysphoric that I just felt it completely alien and insecure. It's like, it's not bad enough that I'm going through a depressive state, but then my gender dysphoria is going to kick in full throttle. So what else is there? What else afflicts me, right? So I got my gender dysphoria that makes me just frozen to go outside. It makes me so like uncomfortable to go outside because I just feel like everybody's just really judging me, and then I have this depressive state that's sunk in where I feel like if I don't try to keep myself up, keep my put a pep in my step, that I am going to just fucking shatter. So I can't let myself be vulnerable during this time. I just try to fight it, and I just try to be strong, you know? But why am I doing that when inevitably it's gonna come out one way or another? So I don't just let it come out and get it over with. Well, because even that doesn't even come out right. I feel like sometimes when I'm in a sad state, I feel like, am I feeling sorry for myself? Is this really something to be concerned about? It's like, it's so much, you guys. It's so much. And I had surgery last week in my mouth. I had 3 extractions. My mouth hurts. I had what seemingly feels like nerve damage in my chin. It's numb and it hurts all at the same time, which I don't even know that's possible. But plus I just got some bad news today too, so I don't really want to get into that right now. Anyway, let's keep moving. So this is what I'm dealing with my bipolar disorder. It's actually really not that bad this time around. I mean, it's far worse. It can be far worse, but it just got started. So let me not jump the gun. So let's go back to the gender dysphoria thing. So I have spoken outwardly about being in the process of transitioning now for 5 years. It's not been 5 years yet, but it's almost 5 years. I have achieved so much in my transition. I have not had any surgeries. I haven't had any procedures done except for a filler here and some Botox a couple times a few years ago. That was it. So everything that you see is kind of like just what I got with the hormones, you know, but it's really not much. I mean, I know I may look good on camera, but in person, I think that I'm obviously trans. And that's, I guess, okay. It's okay. It's okay. I prefer not to be noticeable. I hate being trans. I fucking hate it. I wouldn't wish being transsexual or transgender on my worst enemy. I wouldn't wish it. It's such a lonely fucking life. The men that are attracted to us, they just want to fuck us. They don't want to date us. They don't want to take us out. They don't want to have a relationship with us. No, they just want to use us as concubines, as somebody to just fulfill a fetish for them. That's it. People that encounter us, well, they're across the board. You get people that are just horrified by us, people that are disgusted by us, people that are turned on by us, people that are drawn to us. I mean, like anything else, I guess. But because we live our lives with who we are on the outside of our bodies, like you guys can walk around and you can hide who you are. You can put on your clothes, you can put on your whatever, and you can hide how you feel. Cis people can hide how they feel on the inside. Trans people, however, we have to expose how we feel on the inside constantly, 24/7. So I can't just walk outside the door and just be. No, because as soon as people start laying eyes on me, it all starts. The fetish chasers, you know, the fucking gawking, the staring, and you know, there comes a point in your transition, if you are transitioning, you just have to let it go. You just have to let it go. I mean, I God knows I still struggle with that. I still struggle with people being mean and transphobic to me in public. It doesn't happen as much anymore, but it still happens from time to time, because when it comes to how people perceive me, I say half the people that I encounter don't know that I'm trans and think I'm a cis woman, and half the people I encounter can totally tell that I'm a trans woman. And all of that is all right. But I wish I could just pass 100%. I really do. I wish I could just pass for a woman, even just if it was cosmetically, you know, like I'm never gonna have a vagina. I'm never going to be an actual woman. I'm always gonna be a biological male, taking synthetic hormones to try and combat what nature has chosen for me, and trying to keep it in line with the way that I feel on the inside. So it's always gonna be a thing. I'm always gonna have to do this and upkeep and shit. But I want to be able to do this and go through all this and putting my body through this trauma of transitioning, because it's trauma, but with the success rate of somebody that passes 100% of the time. Is that too much to ask? But I started very late in my transition. I started 5 years ago. I was already a well-established adult male, so the younger you are, the better. You know, although I don't condone kids to do it, I think that if, you know, once you're 18, make your own choices, man. But, yeah, I hate being trans. I do. There is no benefit to it. My friend Stefan was asking me today, is there anything about being trans that you're happy about? And I said, I really had to sit there and think about it. No. There is nothing about being trans that I'm happy about. The only thing I can think of that even remotely comes close to what he's referring to is the fact that I finally, when I look in the mirror, I look at my reflection, I see what I feel on the inside. I see what I feel on the inside. That's the only thing I can bring home with me. It's the only thing that gives me any sort of comfort, is the way that I feel towards myself. If it weren't for other people, I wouldn't have a lot of these issues. Because when I walk out the door, believe it or not, I don't walk out thinking, hey, here I am, a tranny walking down the street. No, I don't think that. I just think I'm a chick. I just think I'm a woman walking down the street. But it's only when I start to encounter other people, when I start being reminded that, no, I'm not like them. I'm different. And oftentimes thought of as a freak. So it makes people, it gives people the permission to objectify us, to ridicule us, to make fun of us. Nobody's gonna defend us. Nobody cares. I've been attacked in public. Nobody helped me. Yeah. I know that a lot of this is playing into my depressive state, and it's probably being inflated because of the way that my brain is functioning right now. We're not functioning, but that's my in real time. That's what I feel. I feel like I wish I wasn't trans, but I don't want to live as a man, because I hated myself then. At least I don't hate myself now. I hate the way my life has become. I hate how people treat me. I hate the opportunities that I miss now, but I don't hate myself. And when I was a guy, when I lived as a guy, I hated myself. I'm telling you this. I ran into a trans girl today. At first I didn't know she was trans. I kind of was suspecting she was because, well, she was so beautiful. She was just so beautiful. She was a little taller than me. I'm 5'10", so she's probably around 5'11", 6 foot. She was younger than me. She was probably about 10 years younger, and she had had some feminization procedures done to her face, which just made her look like a Barbie doll. She was just so pretty. And her hair was pretty, and her style was just on point, and she looked so comfortable in her own skin. She looked so feminine, and at first I couldn't tell she was trans. It was only when I approached her, and I have this thing where when I'm passing people on the street, I just don't want to look at them. I don't want to look at their face, because I don't want to see the face they're making at me. After I passed her, I felt really good about seeing her and her acknowledging me. She gave me a look in my eyes saying, "I'm your sister." I'm with you. It made me feel good. It made me feel good. And for the next few steps that I took walking to Walgreens, it just made my step a little bit lighter. Because I thought, I'm not the only one, man. And this city is full of trannies, full. I never encounter them because most of them probably have cars. They're usually people that work at night, and I just don't encounter them. I'm really sorry that I'm all Debbie Downer right now, but this is what it's like. So yes, even though I was observing her, I was doing it from a distance, but as I approached closer, I started to look at the ground. I didn't want to really make eye contact. And at this point, I still hadn't realized that she was trans, but as I'm walking past her, she was like trying to get my attention because I had my earphones in, and she was just like, hi. Which I gave her like the dorkiest smile, like, I'm such a dork. But she was all glamorous and beautiful, wearing really expensive clothes, and she looked like $1 million. And I was missing an earring. I had a ponytail. My shirt was torn. Just a tomboy. I'm just so like unrefined. Like, why can't I be glamorous like her? Because I guess I'm just me. Tomorrow's another day. I will most likely wake up in a depressive state again, but I'm gonna keep trying to combat it and fight it and just try to make the best of my day. Things are not as bad as they seem. They can always be worse. I just have to remind myself of that. And I hope that I run into that girl again, because this time if I run into her, or the next time I should say, I'm gonna stop and talk to her and ask for her name and introduce myself. It's only the right thing to do. Trans girls gotta stick together, right? Anyways, thanks for listening, guys. I'll be in a better mood tomorrow, hopefully. Bye.